We are excited to be back. It has been a while since we have recorded one of these, and it was going to take something pretty special to pull us out of our break or hiatus. And this is it. So we are on location here at the Fresh Start House of Homes, and we have our executive director, Jaime Cann, here with us. So hey, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
You excited to be here?
Yes.
Nobody's ever excited to be. I was like, yes. Is that the right answer? No, we are really excited. We love what you guys do. And so what we're going to do today, we're going to kind of talk about the new build. But a lot of you guys are kind of like me, where we didn't really know necessarily what Fresh Start all did. You know, some stuff, we kind of had a vague idea. So can you start and just give us a little overview? Like, what is Fresh Start? What are we dealing with?
Yeah. So Fresh Start supports anyone who is pregnant or parenting with children under the age of 6. And specifically here at the House of Homes, it's a in-residence 12-month transitional housing for moms and babies that are needing a place to stay in transition of abuse or anything really that they just can't live where they're living or they're facing homelessness.
Okay. So how long have you guys been around?
Since 1987, we started in Springfield, Ontario.
Okay. Springfield. That was Rehoboth Homes, if I remember correctly. Yes.
And then moved to St. Thomas, purchased this unit, and then tore it down. And then built this guy.
Okay, so in real quick, like you guys work with young moms or moms in general, just who need kind of a hand up type of thing.
Yeah.
All right, so if people want more information, you guys are online, I'm assuming somewhere?
Yep, we are at www.fsms.ca. It's a tongue twister.
That's all right. All right. Does it stand for something? I'm just kidding. Fresh Start Maternity Service. All right. So with that, let's give us a bit of an overview. Who are you and how'd you get here? Because I always like the people part of it, right?
Yeah. So, Jaime. I was born and raised...
Not Jaime. Just so we're clear, the spelling confuses people. And so she wants people to know it is not Jaime. It is Jaime.
It's a hard J.
Hard J. Hard J. All right.
So grew up in London, born and raised there. My husband, when we got married, joined the military.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, we left London when I was 9 months pregnant and moved to Kingston, Ontario. Gave birth pretty quick. And we had always wanted a ton of children.
Mm-hmm. How many would be a ton? I was curious. Such an interesting saying.
We wanted 11.
11?
We wanted enough for a whole soccer team.
That's 2 tons. That's like legit?
Legitimately wanted 11 children so we could go and play soccer together as a family.
That is super cute.
Yeah, we're adorable.
Did you hit 11? I guess that's
we hit 2. Our son's birth was pretty traumatic and just a whole bunch of things went on there and didn't think either of us were going to survive. So the doctors gave us a chance to have one more and we had our daughter, Joy. But we'd always wanted to help in these situations. And we'd said off right away in the military, we would love to be able to take in a mother and their child, not just have the child being taken away from the mother, but actually grow them together. And we didn't have the opportunity in the military. And then my husband got PTSD. And we decided, like, where do we want to go? They'll send us anywhere. So like, let's go home. So London was not an option. It's just too busy. So St. Thomas was it. I started working at Teen Challenge. And then I met Karen Scouten.
So how'd you get into that? Like, because I'm often curious, because it's tough. It's tough work. Like, what made you choose to go into the serving of others type of thing, especially in a pretty intense way? Yeah.
So I'd always worked in retail as management, and I didn't like that as much. I wanted to actually have a meaning to what I'm doing. And we became Christians in 2013. And I was just like, I want to do work for God. So the next best thing was to actually go and do work where God is working.
So, I do think it's one of the interesting things, because somebody asked me again yesterday, they're like, well, how do you believe in a God when there's so much suffering? And I like, one of the things that keeps compelling me is that every time I get closer to God, it seems he sends me to serve people. And everybody that I know that I would say models Jesus well seems to love serving people and does it in such a selfless way. It's just, the more I meet people, the more we talk about it, the more it's like, no, I met God and then I serve people. And then I met God and I serve people. And so it's really cool.
Yeah, it's you get drawn into it. You really do. Like, the Holy Spirit really takes you to where God wants you to be. So I worked at Teen Challenge for almost 8 years, just shy of 8 years. And then Suzanne came to me.
What'd you do there? Sorry.
Oh, I worked at the marketing department. So any pamphlet, any paper,
so just so we're clear,
anything that came at a teen challenge.
Barking department? That's what I heard.
Marketing.
Yeah. The marketing department.
Yeah. So anything that touched paper, going out to churches, any event stuff, I did all that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Guess we're learning things.
Yeah. So it was just fun, and I got to work with students in the program, and it was just interesting, and you get to go to their grads and see how they've developed. And
okay. And so then you met Susan.
So I met Suzanne when we first moved here. We went to church together, played baseball with her husband, and she just called me the one day and she's like, I have an opportunity for you. And we had a good 2.5 hour phone call, and she's like, I think the board's going to call you. I'm like, okay. Suzanne went back to work at the hospital. I started at Fresh Start in 2024, and now we're here. And
on video.
Yeah. But then I keep on saying to my husband, I'm like, we had always wanted to do this, take in a mother and a child, and we weren't financially able to.
Right.
And now I'm taking in 12.
Right.
So
that's crazy.
I'm happy.
Yeah, no doubt. No, that is super cool. Okay, so man, there's a couple of places I want to go with that. The one is, I think we want to at least highlight that just because your vision didn't show up the way you intended it, God still had a good purpose. Yeah,
God always has a plan. It might not be what I wanted, but it's what He wanted. So,
how'd you navigate the grief of it? Is this too personal?
No.
We can cut this out, because to me, this is, again, I think a lot of when I'm thinking about who we send this to and who we try to hope will listen, it's the human element of it. So it's the people who are disappointed they couldn't have the children. It's the people who are disappointed that what they envisioned for their life isn't there. And so I listen to your vision and I go, well, it turned out nothing like what you had hoped, and you're smiling. How do you get there? Like, how do you work through that grief? Yeah. How do you work through that as a couple and then end up being in a place like this?
As a couple, we are really strong together. We really take that aspect of, it's not just us, it's God's in the picture, and everything is the three of us in our relationship. We weren't really, I think we were just beyond happy with the kids that we had, and just, they're great kids and we love them dearly. And just because we couldn't have more, it wasn't like an insult to us. I'm always the first person to take someone's baby at church and cuddle with them, and everybody knows Jamie will take the baby. So I'm okay with it, because I still get that from things that we're doing. And when we were in Kingston, I used to run our nursery and kids programs. So I still had that aspect of that. So it's never been like a devastating hurt.
What would you give for advice as to people who are going through it and going, no, to me, it devastated me? Because I didn't get, because I think a lot of people struggle with when they don't, like you were like, okay, well, I got it. It's still at church and I got it here. And I'm assuming a lot of the clientele you guys work with, certainly stuff that we deal with at Family Central, through church and other places, people whose dreams just didn't seem to manifest remotely how they had hoped. Like, how do people walk through that? Like, what would you give people as advice?
I would say pray through it. And pray for it not as, God, why didn't I get this? But as in, how can you use me through this? Because I think that if you're focusing on what God's purpose for it all is, you're not focusing on yourself at that point. Right. Yeah, grief is hard, and dealing with those type of things are hard. But when you take the focus off yourself and put it onto what God wants, it does ease a lot. And listen to lots of worship music, because we just fill our every day with it. So it just helps a lot. And there's lots of people going through it, and talk to other people and get advice from other people. Right. I'm open. You can come talk to me.
You can drop your baby off, talk to Jamie. I think that's really good, because I know for people that you just don't quite know where to go. But I think so you say that, I think when you serve people, you all of a sudden realize you're not alone. There are people who also have it. That doesn't minimize or mitigate your own pain, but you're not the only one. And there is something about walking with other people going, okay, well, maybe we can get through this together. And I think people sometimes lose sight of that. I don't want to serve right now. I'm hurting. Yeah, I know. It's not that the serving is going to take away your hurt. But when two people are starting to walk together on a road and you start sharing, you start like there's a lot of power in that. So that is super, super cool. All right. So anything else about you that we should know? Anything else that you're hoping I would ask? I know there's none of these. What would you love for me to ask that I didn't?
I don't know. My son's joining the military.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
That hurts more, I think.
Scary, hey,
it's
right?
Scary.
Right.
Yeah. But he's such a good kid. He's a really kind kid. So I just hope they don't eat him alive.
Yeah, we need good people in the soul. We need good people in the military.
Yeah. We need more Christians in the military.
Yeah.
We need a little bit more of God in the places that
100%.
they've taken God out of. So
100%. All right, so let's jump into a fresh start. Okay, so we are in the House of Homes. So walk me through this as if somebody who I know a little bit, like you've shared some, but what are we doing here? How are we accomplishing this? And maybe we should back up a little further. Why did we build this? Because there's a whole story behind here that I feel like is interesting.
So when we moved from Springfield to St. Thomas, and then this land was purchased with the Century home that was on it, it was a great home at the time.
And we're at 118
Center Street. Yeah.
St. Thomas.
Yeah. So there was lots of great plans for it.
Mm-hmm.
The building was huge. It was able to do the group home aspect and have some units in it for moms and babies that were in need. But over time, things start falling apart, brickwork, remediation of mold and things like that. And it just wasn't feasible anymore. So they were going to plan out at the time to do a large renovation of the Century home. Once they got into it, it just wasn't feasible anymore. So the decision was made to, once our families were moved out at the time, to tear down the building and then rebuild and make it into more of a self-contained unit. So there's 12 in this building, self-contained apartment units where moms and babies can grow together and stop that trauma and have more attachment together as a unit, a family unit. So the foundation was laid November 2024, and now here we are, April of 2026, and our building is very, very, very close. So
tell me about the room that we're in. What is the room that we're in right now?
Yeah, this is our program space. So this is where we'll run our Circle of Security, our baby love programs, drop-in programs for all of our moms in the building. We can have visitations where if there's a group that needs to come and visit with family, they can come in here. We are going to try to do cooking classes and baking. And we have a couple volunteers who want to teach how to do canning, and just have this room as really a family-orientated room where we can come together with the clientele and grow them and be able to have them move out on their own and be able to do the things that they never really would have had the opportunity to learn before.
Right. So walk me through the process. So can anyone, I know obviously it's moms and kids, but anyone apply? Is this to all Ontario? Or do you guys have a specific, catch net? And then how do you get in? And then we'll talk about what that program actually looks like. Yeah.
So it's, we focus on Elgin County. So 99.9% will come from here in Elgin. St. Thomas.
It's a very high percentage, 99.9.
0.9.
That is out of 12, there's very few that are
very few that are going to get in. No, like London has their services and Woodstock has their services, but from Tillsonburg to Dutton, there's not much. Right. So we want to focus on this area. This is our home, and this is where we're out of, and this is where we want them to have their home as well.
Right.
So we focus on this area. And then if the need arises and we do have space, then yes, we will take in someone from the Woodstock, London, Stratford, Strathroy area. Right. But our first is our own people here in this community so that we can mitigate the homelessness rates around here.
Right. Is there any I'm trying to think, the word is escaping me, rules about getting in? There's a criteria. Are there specific criteria? Because even if you're listening and you're like, I know somebody who could use our services, like, is there specific criteria that you're working for? Is it fairly loose in terms of who can move in?
I'd say it's loose, but it's not at the same time. It's a good median. So they have to be pregnant or parenting. and has to be a mom.
Is there an age limit to the kids?
6 and under is our limit for programming, but our limit for housing right now is 3, with respect to if there's a situation that calls for an older child up to 6, then we would accommodate that as well. It is up to us who we have in, but
and the reality is that you can't do it for everyone. Like, and that we realize with a lot of stuff that we run is like, if you just make it too vague, you end up serving no one, because your programming has to be intentional.
Yeah.
And so then if you have all of and so it's not a matter of whether we like this age or not. It's just, this is who we are. This is the part of the whole process that we play. So no, I get that. Makes total sense.
So so women led. No, like, men can't be in the building.
Right.
This is the only space after May 1st that there will be allowed to be men, unless it's for maintenance, where our staff will be with them 24/7.
I know this wasn't us, but I know they put up no trespassing signs as soon as we showed up. So I'm not saying, I don't know. We'll probably chase us out of here pretty quick.
Yeah.
How do people pay before? Because I think that's one of the worries too. Like, where do people get funding from for this? Because typically a young mom is not raking in the dough. Like, there's a lot of challenges there. Yeah. What does finances look like?
So our rent is significantly lower than market rent. We're even at 80% of what the regular tenancy rate is for low income.
Right.
So it's still very accommodating. But a lot of our clientele have ODSP or OW. Some work part-time and they're able to. And then we also applied for city subsidy to accommodate the women that can't afford it. So that money comes in from the city to help support the units. But it's not a government handout type thing. It's actually helping the community. This community is fantastic. Yep. The Elgin community is amazing. And we get along so well with all the groups that it's more of like a family.
Right.
And we are just helping each other out along the way.
Right. Because you certainly hear the stories of the communities where it's a lot of competition because there's a lot of funds, right? You're fighting for the same grants, a lot of that. That's really, really cool. So moms come in here. What is a typical length? Like, what are we dealing with? Or is it very specific to the individual? Or,
so because it's transitional housing, it is 1 year minus a day. So 364 days a year. But with the climate of the housing right now, we're not kicking people out.
Right.
We are going to work with them no matter what to help them secure and find housing. It just might be 6 months into their program. It could be a year and a half in. It's not up to us. So we are trying to get them in before the year, but if it goes a little bit longer, if it's a little bit shorter, we're here to help and support them in any way that we can.
Awesome. Okay. So then we talk a lot about the program. And I don't know which way is easier for you. Do you want to tell me about the staff, or do you want to tell me about the program, or the other way around? However you want to do that. But what does that program actually look like?
Yeah. So programming is not mandatory. So that's the best part about it, is you have to want to do it. So you get that aspect of accomplishment when you actually do it. So our programming we have is like our drop-in programs and our Social Security, baby love programs.
So now, are those then just open to anyone in the community as well? Or is this like the people who live here specific?
So we will have specifically here for the women in the building, but then at 797 Talbot Street at our Haven location, that's where we do all of our community aspect of things. So we're open to the community on that as well. And we do have some dads that go to that program in our other buildings.
So that building they can go in?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we know. So when you apply here, so the program isn't mandatory. Is there specifics that, like, how do we determine that? Because I think a lot of people on the outside, at least what we hear when we deal with Family Central, and some of those people are like, well, then they're just coming in and do nothing.
Yeah.
Like, do you face that? Or how do we navigate that? Because,
So I think that when programming was mandatory previously, it was met with opposition. And then when you make it an opportunity for them to do it themselves, you get them in more.
Right.
Our Growing Together program that Tammy runs is a fantastic broad view of that. It's optional. It's a Bible study group. We went from 5 women, and we went in the spring or in the fall, we went to 2 groups. It was so big.
Okay. Very cool.
So it's just, you're giving that option.
Right.
So they're seeing that they want to do it.
Right.
And then they're sticking with it longer. We do have our family navigator that is on site, but they have to check in with her every single month. So that's goal setting and looking for housing. So they're always connecting with her and asking for group things. And
so you'd say kind of as a core belief, the belief would be that when a mom moves in, Fresh Start would view them as somebody who wants to be a good mom and is trying. And we're going to go from that perspective instead of going like, we have to force them to try to be a good mom.
Yeah.
Because I do think that changes the way you perceive some of this. Because I just know I've been around this for long enough that people are like, well, you're going to make the program mandatory. And I get the side of it because a lot of programs end up being, well, then you just end up living here and they're accomplishing anything.
Yeah.
Right. And so I know there's that, but I do think there's a piece where if you can get people to buy in, then when they leave here, then they're actually going to continue on what they've learned. Whereas if for a year you're going to force me to live a certain way and I change nothing and I just have to do it because I have to.
And then they go back out and it's a disaster.
Right.
Yeah. So
no, that's really cool. And I think it's an important distinction that people need to understand.
Yeah. It's not just about coming in and living and then not doing anything. They'll see other people doing things and they'll want to do it as well. It also grows their attachment with their babies and their children because they're self-sufficient right now.
Right.
And then they want to be able to grow that as well. And they want community. And that is a huge thing. And then we have connections with churches like your church and Redemption, growing them into those aspects and getting them into a community base once they leave here is the most imperative thing. Right. Because as soon as you're out of community and you are out on your own and you have to find it on your own, it's a lot harder. And it's that the anxiety kicks in and you retreat back. And but if we have those things set up before they even leave here, they're going to gain so much more.
Right. Well, and I think you can look at it kind of like the way we parent. Like if you do everything for that child, when they leave, they're going to be like, I don't know how to live.
Yeah.
Right. So you want to transition that a little. So you mentioned quite a few programs. Can you give me kind of a quick snapshot on what some of these are?
Yeah. So Circle Security is our attachment-based programming where they dive into their own past, their own traumas to see where they are growing and how they're going to parent so that they can get away from the parenting trauma that they had gone through as well.
Okay. So this one would be specific to... Just so I know, like, is this a 12-weeker or 8-week, something like that? Yep. It's something like that runs a couple times a year?
Yep. So it's 8 weeks and it's run twice a year. So it'll be twice at Talbot Street and twice here. Okay. But it's not just something for our moms. Right. It's something that every single parent would gain and just get that heart for that family unit and that connection and intimacy with your own children and life. And
that's very cool. Yeah. Okay. What are some of the other ones?
So then we have our drop-in programs, which is just a basic drop-in, bring the kids down, they can play together, have that community. We do snack and some crafts, but it's basically just gaining that community aspect of things. We're here to assist if they need any help with anything, but it's more of a community aspect. And then we have Baby Love, which is attachment for a mom and a new baby, just going through what that looks like in the year, some things that you're struggling with. Right. And then we have our CSC program, which is our counseling program. We don't do counseling in-house. But
what does CSC stand for?
Counseling Services.
What's the other C?
I don't know. That's a Carolyn thing. But it is a program that we will help get 5 sessions of counseling.
Very cool.
Yeah, so they pay a very minor amount of that, and we pay the bulk of it, so that they can get some of that trauma out. And if needed, then we have that ability to extend that if they are in great need.
That's fantastic.
And then we run VBS in the summer.
Right.
So we're a little different from the churches that run VBS because our mandate is 0 to 6. So that
is not our mandate. We run a bunch of camps, and that age group is hard, man.
It's hard, but Tammy is fantastic. And we have
She goes to our church, and she's never signed up for any of those VBS. That is super odd, Tammy.
Because she's a little busy with us.
Well, maybe we can talk after and listen.
And then our bottle drive from Mother's Day to Father's Day. So that's just donating your spare change and making lives change. Last year, we had our highest amount, which was... Yeah, $37,600.
Awesome.
So
that's awesome. Okay, one of the things I want to get to, and we got about 5 minutes left. So, one of the things people will ask you about is you have the word Christian in your. So, what does that mean? Because I know for a lot of people, outside of the church, there's an assumption, then that becomes where you only accept Christians, or you're going to force theology down people's throat, or like, what does that mean, and why does it matter that people understand, where your faith is coming from as an organization?
Yeah, so the Christian aspect of who we are as Fresh Start is the staff are Christians. The staff are here, but we're doing the work that God has set forth before us. We are helping everyone. There's no one that's excluded. We don't want it to be we are only helping Christians. We're only helping this group. No, there is a broad group of people out there that are underserved and underhelped. And that's why we're here. We're here to help them. We're not shoving anything down their throats.
Right.
It is optional.
Right.
So our Growing Together program is optional. But we also find that after being into some of our other programs, they naturally want, and they are inquisitive about what the Bible says and what God is. And so we're here to help with that. We're not throwing anything in anybody's faces. We will pray with people if they ask. We will pray for people on our own. We're always in the community, just being part of the community.
Right.
So,
and I think it's neat because right now they struggle to trust anyone because everybody's like, well, I don't know who to trust. And I feel like part of having your name be so clear, they're like, we know who you are.
Yeah.
So if you're like, well, who's at Fresh Start? Who's going to run this? Which perspective are they coming from? You don't have to guess. We know. This is the end. And I think that's important. And I realize for some people, and I don't ever know who watches these, but I think some people can get turned off by that and go, well, but I'm always like, no, I want to know. So when I send my kid to a camp or when I send my kid somewhere, I want to understand where you're coming from. That doesn't mean I'm going to agree with it. That doesn't mean that it has to be the same as mine. But then at least I understand. And I feel like that's really neat that you guys have been like, this is who we are. This is why we do what we do. That's not going to change. We're not forcing it down anybody's throat.
Yeah.
We are here to serve because one of the Christian values is that human lives matter. Yeah. And so for you guys to pick that specific part where you go, moms who are struggling, like that's such an important part of communities, such an important part of making our community better. And it is hard. Like I've never been a mom. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm very not momish. And watching what my wife goes through and just the difference in the way we parent and the weight that she carries versus the weight that I carry is very different. And so to have you guys do this for moms who are feeling alone or feeling underqualified or feeling unsure and scared, like it's super valuable, and just really appreciate you and what you guys do and the work you put into this. I know you say you haven't slept for a couple of months as you desperately try to finish this project. But just know you guys are being prayed for. We really appreciate what you're doing. There's lots of people appreciate it. To those of you guys who have given to this project, just know the value that brings. And seeing Jaime behind the scenes and just seeing how much it authentically matters, whether it's a small gift, a big gift, or even a letter of encouragement, any of those things, they really, really matter. And so really appreciate you guys. You guys are inspiration to many. Thanks for taking this time.
Thank you.
I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you.
All right. Hey, we will see you in the next one.